What's up, guys? Movie Junkie for Life here, and this is my review of Central Intelligence. So, story wise, this movie is about a guy who was really popular in high school, played by Kevin Hart. And when 20 years later, he meets up with a friend who he had, well, not really a friend, but a kid that he had something really bad happen to him in high school. And it turns out that that kid is now basically the Rock, right? He goes from being this fat kid to being the Rock. And he gets caught up in a whole espionage thing with him because it turns out he's now a CIA agent. Or is he? Um, what is there really to say about Central Intelligence? This is one of those movies that honestly, if you took any other two actors of a lesser caliber and stuck them in there, you wouldn't like this movie. It's as basic and generic as it gets. It we've seen it just so many times. You have a guy who was really popular in high school. He was perfect at everything. He was athletic, smart. Everybody liked him, right? And then you had the nerdy guy who was big and fat and weird, and everybody picked on him, right? Come 20 years later now, the guy who had everything is now, he's not a bad guy, he has a good life, but it's not the life that he thought he would have had. And of course, the fat guy is now this buff, sexy person, but he also still has all his fat guy insecurities. I've seen this many times before. I've seen this done with two females. I've seen this done with other males. The story is not new. The whole CIA thing, I mean, again, it's like night and day. It's like, I've seen this so many times. But what makes this movie enjoyable is Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock, and Kevin Hart. These are two guys that can elevate nearly anything you put them in. If you've watched most of Kevin Hart's recent movies, you'll realize he tends to be the strongest aspect of the movie. He's the one who makes you laugh. He's the one who takes it to the next level. And the Rock is the same way. Put him in any movie that, even like a dying franchise, like say Fast and Furious, it could be argued that that franchise was going down the toilet after Fast and Furious 4. And then here comes 5, and not only do they revamp the way they do things, but they introduce The Rock. And again, it catapults it back up. The same thing happens with G.I. Joe. And they even make fun of this in a Saturday Night Live skit where, you know, he talks about how he's a sequel Viagra. That's what it is. He's franchise Viagra. Because anything you put him in, it's gonna do well. So these two guys together in a movie that is basically a generic by the numbers comedy, they will get laughs out of you, and they did. They made me laugh time and time again. Does it mean the story is any good? No, it's as predictable as they come. It's as basic as they come. They are awkward together, and then something happens, and somebody betrays somebody, and somebody makes it up to somebody, and then they come together and they defeat the evil. The end. You've seen it 1,000 times. But that being said, this movie can and probably will be enjoyed by a lot of people. Do I recommend going to the movies to see it? Not really, unless you really have nothing else to do and you're looking for something light, popcorn fare with a couple friends. Maybe you just want to get some laughs. And I always say going to the movies with a bunch of people, and going to the movies with maybe like your boyfriend, or even by yourself, or your girlfriend, whatever, or by yourself, the experience is very different. Sometimes there are movies that I know were really not that good, and because of the people I was with at the time, I really enjoyed it, and it made me think the movie was great. But no, it's your friends, you know, talking crap, and they have you laughing and enjoying it. So Central Intelligence, I think you can wait for it to come out, available at home, and watch it. I actually think a movie like this is probably going to end up on Netflix pretty quickly. They probably acquire it really quickly. So if you wait maybe a month, it's going to be there. But other than that, there's not much I can recommend with it. So overall, I'll give Central Intelligence a 6 out of 10. Good comedy. These guys are funny. But is it anything like, you know what? Honestly, the other guys with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg is, so I would quicker give the other guys the higher mark if I was rating it. So Central Intelligence gets a 6 out of 10. Okay guys, till next time. Bye bye.